people, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. It is Shift Your Thinking Tuesdays with yours truly. And welcome to the show. Get it pumped, get it pumped, get it pumped. This is where we transform our inner experience to a phenomenal outer experience. But 13 minutes of your day, of my day, we do it together and we make amazing things happen. So this is personal growth at its finest. And I thank you for joining. All right. This is going to be a great show today because it's, I did a sneak peek while I was getting set up. And shout out to those of you who joined me on Instagram Live and Facebook Live, and those who are tuning in on the podcast. Yes, Shift Your Thinking Tuesdays is a bonus episode, or I should say bonus series that is happening on my podcast for Ready, Set Real Estate. That's pretty exciting. So for those of you who are tuning in and listening to me on the Ready, Set Real Estate and getting all that phenomenal information from the guests on the Ready, Set Real Estate show. We get to build, connect, and learn together on Shift Your Thinking, where for me, it's intertwined, right? The largest piece of real estate is your mind because there's so much abundance that can be created from that. You know, everyone's so into real estate because of what it can do, what it can afford you, and what it can create in terms of wealth, opportunity, tangible assets. That is what your mind can do. So I get to tie my two loves together in one platform, which is awesome for me. So thank you for joining me and listening and connecting, building, and sharing at lasuperagent on all social media. So today's show, I am going to call How Do You Eat an Elephant? And for those of you who know me, hear me say this African proverb all the time. How do you eat an elephant? And I'm going to plug it in here. How do you eat an elephant? No animals will be harmed during the taping of the show. So we are on episode number 34. Could you imagine that? This is episode number 34, you guys. So thanks for joining. So we're going to continue our series again. We are continuing our series from Shift Your Thinking, 200 Ways to Improve Your Life from Dean Del Sesto. And if you haven't had a chance to catch up on the archives or the past shows, do so at youtube.com/LASuperagent and check out the Shift Your Thinking playlist because we're now on episode number 34. By the time I finish this web series, we will have completed 200 episodes, and that alone, I am going to be ecstatic, and I get to practice commitment and consistency here. This is what it's about. So how do you eat an elephant is how I'm calling this episode. It's an African proverb and one of my favorite African proverbs. Let's jump right in. The author says, start small, phase in quick wins, build for scalability, and measure as you grow. I like that. I had that moment yesterday where I was like, Coach, bring me in. I'm ready. Bring me in. Because I have an opportunity to conduct a sale, a unique sale that I have not done in my career yet before. So I'm like motivated. I'm like ready, but it's the small steps first, right? Because I'm already at the end. The author says, when it comes to launching projects, those of you who are project driven, most start out with a bit of over optimism, planning to eat the elephant in one bite. How many of you are project driven and you attempt to eat the elephant in one bite? This kind of planning may work for the rare few, but typically it is not only unrealistic, but also set up to fail. Generally, we know this, but even so, we can be easily swayed by unbridled enthusiasm and ignorant passion, whether our own or from others. Yeah, that's going to be it's like talking to me right now. I'm having this moment because as you can resonate, at least I anticipate that it resonates with you, all this fire, all this passion, and just get motivated. So it's very important for my energy and a person like me to execute, follow through, which is really nice about doing Shift Your Thinking, because I get to follow through on this concept, this wild idea for me, and what I'm passionate about, right? Real estate. What I'm passionate about is education. What I'm passionate about is giving, service. I get to bundle all that in one platform and share that. So this for me is that how do you eat an elephant? Because in my mind, I'm like, I got to do this, I got to do that. But it's like one day at a time. Shift Your Thinking on Tuesdays, Ready, Set, Real Estate on Wednesdays, Hugh and Lisa, Real Estate Rants on Fridays, one at a time. Pace yourself, darling, is what I lovingly say to myself, and I lovingly say to you. The author says, not everyone is going to feel comfortable with going foot to the floor. Shout out to Thelonious C. Jones, who I quote all the time, 10 toes to the concrete, right? Not everyone's going to be comfortable with going foot to the floor, 10 toes to the concrete, putting the action forward, because we all have these great ideas, but then there's that 17 seconds where at most best it's God force, it's divinity, it's intuition. Beyond that, you start to rationalize and you start to talk yourself out of it. And then you don't want to make the steps. You don't want to take the steps forward. See, I told you this was going to be a great episode. So he says that most are not comfortable with taking that foot to the floor off the starting line, nor do many have the capacity or all the facts to move that fast. So then you have those who are stunted by their own ability to overthink. And I definitely can be over analytical. However, I feel like I've improved. I've gotten better. I definitely have gotten better at this, which is really nice because now I think, I do, and then I measure, and then I tweak. And that's what you have been seeing. By the way, the podcast has reached over 800 downloads, and that's a measure. I can tangibly measure where I started 60 days ago with jumping on the podcast and then stepping out. So I stepped out last summer and said, hey, I'm going to do this show. I'm going to do my own show. I'm not going to wait on anyone. I stepped out. You all said yes. Thank you to the innovation of technology. I can leverage it to expand my message. And now the show has over 800 downloads. Like, yo, that means legitimately for me, I have a show. People are listening, and they're listening everywhere, on their phones, on their computers, on their tablet. And that for me is so awesome. So I thank you first and foremost. And that makes me feel excited. So this is what we're talking about. How do you eat an elephant, right? Small bites, small bites. The author says, case in point, whenever clients of my branding agency would be tentative about buying off an entire proposal, we didn't throw a tantrum because they weren't aligned with our enthusiasm or tell them that this was the only way to get things done. We were wise enough to know that we didn't know all the details of their company and its culture, So even though we would reason with them about the value of comprehensive approach, and that's good, if it required that we start small, then so be it, right? So thank you. Hey, shout out to Shantae. Yes, I'm feeling pretty awesome about that. Yep. So again, we're talking about scalability, stepping out there and then scaling, tweaking, measuring the growth. So I feel completely excited about that. I can tangibly share with you, how do you eat an elephant? Because that's what it was for me, the small bite, right? I dabbled with the concept of a show, and then I figured out how to scale this using the technology. And now the podcast is on podcasts everywhere. and it's growing. So for me, that's huge, because I can honestly say I know nothing about podcasts. So I get to be really a babe at heart with this, play with it, enjoy it, study, research, learn, because I'm learning in the process. I'm learning in the process. I just bought a book that will help build the platform for me through collaboration, sponsorship, and leveraging that. I get to leverage this for other people, other business opportunities that can be a win-win-win for everyone. So for me, I'm having a phenomenal time. It's super, super exciting. And thank you. So the author continues and says, for us, it was winning the battle, not the war at the moment for both the client and ourselves. He says, so even though they would reason with them about the value of comprehensive approach, if it required that they start small, then so be it. Start small. Especially with me, I'm a visionary, right? I'm big picture. My ruler is Jupiter. I'm a big picture gal. So it's kind of very difficult for me to do logistical details and small details. And so this for me is personal growth at its finest, because I am forced to do the small steps in order to achieve the big picture. How do you eat an elephant? The author says the upside is that it gave everyone more time to plan and score some quick victories. Quick victories in that. Celebrate the small victories, right? Because even though for me, I mean, for people who are doing massive numbers and downloads, I'm going to celebrate over 800 downloads that somebody said yes. That for me, victory. Quick victories. Yeah, we did that. We did that, team. You included. We did that because you told someone about it. You shared, you invited, you tagged. I thank you. We did that. This is a collective. This is not me by myself. It's me providing a platform for us to build and grow together. This is why I'm going to say this time and time again. Connect, build, and share. Connect, build, and share. I'm not looking for followers. I'm not looking for the likes. That's cool and everything. That's great. However, but we are at a phenomenal time right now to do amazing things. Like technology is creating a new way, right? A new world order. And don't be scared that I say that, but there's phenomenal things happening. Yes, thank you, Shantae. It says never underestimate small beginnings. Exactly. And that's where I'm feeling. You feel me on that, right? I'm going to keep saying that. Over 800 downloads. I haven't checked the numbers yet again, but you know, then I get to scale. I get to measure. Then I'm going to measure in a couple weeks or another 30 days. Where are we in terms of downloads? Is this resonating? Is this connecting? Am I reaching the masses? And by the way, be sure you do connect, because I have been giving away stuff. I've been giving away this free book. And I also do want to connect with Simonia. So she's a sweetheart of a gal that I connected in my geographic farm where I'm working. And she gave me her very own creative affirmation. So I'm going to connect with her to give you guys these. She's got like this cute little thing that she's got her own shop, and I'm going to plug that in the caption so that you can also check her out. But this is Connect, Build, Share. I get to support somebody else in their creative endeavors and build, because I told her, and if you're listening, I did say this would be perfect for Shift Your Thinking because you've got the whole affirmations going on. So that's awesome. You see how that works? You put it out in the universe, boom, connected with somebody else that's doing the same thing or something in like kind. So the author says, and in most cases, it would end up as a full implementation anyway. So when you start small, you are leading to the aggregate. You are leading to the aggregate full picture. Oh, this is good. He says, however, if we push too hard for our agenda, we would never have had the chance for a relationship. Exactly. If I go straight from A to Z, which I can creatively do that, That's what metaphysics is. However, it's the journey, right? And you hear that as a cliche. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But in truth, it is, because it's the experience and the growth that you're capturing is what's amazing. And I'm going to have to take that call. It seems the second time that's going to be a phone call to me from my relative. So I'm going to take that into a sec. So let me wrap this up. The author says, good news is that the model of starting small, getting quick wins, scaling and measuring is one that works consistently and predictably, and it builds trust, rapport, and results for lasting growth and progress in all areas of life, not just business. So I leave this with you, and I thank you for taking this time of your morning to transform your inner experience to a phenomenal outer experience. I leave this with you. How do you eat an elephant? You should know this by now. After 13 minutes, it is one of my famous and favorite quotes. It's an African proverb. How do you eat an elephant? Bite by bite. All right, you guys, have a phenomenal and productive and powerful week. I love you, love you, love you. Be sure to connect, build, and share on all social media at lasuperagent. And if you found any value in today's podcast and today's show, be sure to drop a feedback, a comment, and let someone know what we're doing. I'll see you next week on episode 35.